Hi everyone, welcome to Share Mind You My YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about business, finance, and life in general. If these are things that you're really interested in, this is the channel for you. And I'd like to thank each and every subscriber. We've managed to reach more than 1,000 subscribers. Yay! That calls for a celebration. So yeah, I'd like to thank you all for being really loyal and sticking to, watching all my videos to the end. And now that we've been, monetized, it means that there'll be adverts coming through my videos. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 8 signs that show you're good with money, and I'll dive straight into it. So sign number one, you have a steady flow of income. Now, income could be from your wages, your salary, if you run a business and you pay yourself, or from the dividends, whatever the case may be, whichever way you want to pay yourself, that's if you run a business. If you have rental income, or you have income coming from your stocks and shares, or from selling a product or a service, whatever the case may be, but you have that steady flow of income. So it's not, you're not one of those where this month you're able to make £1,000, next month you can't make anything. You have to have a steady flow of income. That's one, or that's the number one sign that you are good with money. Sign number two, you know your expenditure. I can't stress this enough. Now, I have a digital budgeting tool that you can download on Etsy. I'll leave a link in the video when I do the editing. I'll leave the link in the video where you can just click on it, go into Etsy, and you can download it, try it, see how you go with it. Now, knowing your expenditure is a crucial part of you being good with money, because you know how much you spend, you know how much you're budgeting for whatever thing that you need to buy. It could be a bigger, it could be like, you're saving up for a bigger purchase, whether it's a home or a sofa or a settee or a car, whatever the case may be. Once you know how much your expenditure is, it's easier for you to be able to, be able to buy for be able to buy a bigger, but be able to go and pay for a bigger purchase, essentially, because you know how much you know what your expenditure is, and you're not living paycheck to paycheck. It's crucial that you know how much you spend, and the only way of you knowing that is you having a budget. You know how much comes in from your steady flow of income, you know how much goes out, and this includes paying yourself or investing, savings, emergency fund, whichever way you want to live your life. Knowing your expenditure is another aspect or another sign that you're good with money. Sign number three is you can pay your bills every month. I've never been in any situation where I've never been able to pay my bills, and I never want to be in that situation. Now, the only way you're going to be able to come out of that situation, you have to know your expenditure. There is no way you're going to be able to pay your monthly. Well, you can, but it's easier when you know your expenditure, and then because then you're able to pay your bills when they come in every month. And then if you have any things that come up that you might need to pay for. For instance, my car broke down this morning. I'll take it to the garage. So knowing that I've got those savings, I can use those savings to pay for car breakdown. So knowing that you're able to pay for your bills every month is another sign that you're good with money. Sign number four is you can buy things that you want. So the difference between a want and a need is that a need is something you cannot do without, and that could be things like your roof over your head, your shelter, food, clothing, and living in diaspora. So you have to have the right clothing. It's winter now, so having the right clothing, like having the right jacket or the right shoes, the right outfits in regards to scarf and things like that. And then a need is anything you can do without, like having those 10 pairs of shoes, having ten bags, 10 different jackets, or it could be just going for a spa day. So when you're good with money, you're able to buy the things that you want. So I'm not saying that you having a credit card and swiping that credit card means you're good with money. Yes, it could be a sign that you're good with money. That's if at the end of when the credit card payment is due, you're able to pay that credit card in full, because that's when you have, you know, that's when you're good with money because you're able to pay your credit card in full. If you can't pay your credit card in full, then you really cannot afford the item. My sister always says that if you can't buy an item twice, then you're not good with money. And that means that you not having to dip into your savings, you not having to forego paying a bill so you can buy that pair of shoe, or you can buy that second handbag or anything of that nature. So you're able to buy for anything that you want is another sign that you're good with money. Sign number 5 is you have savings. um, Savings there for you to help you in on a rainy day. And like I said earlier, my car broke down and I've got to fix the car, but I've got my savings, so I've been able to pay for that, without me having to use my credit card, without me having to borrow money from anybody, so I can sort out my car. So savings are there for your rainy day, and that's when you can use your savings. So once you're able to have the savings, it means you're good with money. Not many people have savings, particularly in this day and age, because we live in consumerized world where there's always an advert going on every social media outlet that you're on. And if you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, um, whatever social media platform you use, there's always an advert that's running, or maybe on YouTube, on telly, watching something on Netflix. There's always an advert of a product or a service that you need to they want you to buy. So you being able to have this savings, and you can be able to pleasure yourself really, because when you have savings are there to help you, again, like I said, on a rainy day. So sign number 6 is you planning ahead for a major purchase. So major purchases could be things like a new sofa, a dining table or a dining set, a car, things of that nature, without you having to be able to use, again, I mean, you can use your credit card, like, however, you have to be able to pay it off when the credit card payment is due. And if you cannot do that, then it's not a good sign. You always have to plan. Now, I'll give you an example. I bought a settee, but this settee was meant to have arrived last year in September. It's not arrived yet, and everything's blamed onto whatever we're going through now, the pandemic, and not having enough drivers to be able to ship in all these products. So there's been a delay. However, that meant that I knew that I was going to buy the sofa in September. I went, looked out for the sofa, knew what I wanted, knew the price of the sofa, put down a down payment, and then I knew that my balance was going to be, let's say, £1,000. I'm not saying my sofa was £1,000. I'm just giving an example. So I knew that every month for the next 3 months, or the next 4 months, I need to be able to raise £1,000. How am I going to do that? Is it me be doing an extra shift? Is it me foregoing something so I can save up for that? So being able to to save up for major purchases is another sign that you're good with money, because that means you either have to borrow money from friends, family, or take out a loan from the bank, or use your credit card for a major purchase. So being able to plan is an essential part of showing that that's a good sign that you're good with money. And then another sign number 7, is you have an emergency fund. Now, it's been said on so many financial channels, or a few different bloggers, where they say, and these some of them are really good with money, or they're financial advisors, where they've said that for you to have an emergency fund, you have to know your expenditure. Now, you're having savings that are going to cover your expenditure for the next 6 or more months. Having an emergency fund is when things just go down unexpectedly, and you have to be able to foot your bills, and your life has to continue without you having to downgrade or rejig a few things, forego so many things, so that you're able to live a decent life. So having an emergency fund, you have to be able to know your expenditure. So as you can tell, all these things are interlinked, are connected to one another. So you know how much your expenditure is, so you're able to know how much you're going to be able to save in your emergency fund. And then the last sign that you're good with money is you invest to make more money. I've always said on my channel on here that I invest in the stock market, and I use a platform called Vanguard, where I've been investing for quite some time now. The reason why I do that, I want to be able to have this compounding effect, because that's what happens with investing. And this is money that I'm willing to lose. So I save 20% of my wages into stocks and share market or stock market, where I buy ETFs, funds, and stocks for the foreseeable future. So you have to have a way of investing your money. It could be through property or buying cryptocurrencies. Like I said, I am not a financial advisor, but you can get all this financial advice on how to invest, how to start investing in the stock market. Um, you can go through a financial advisor, you can go through the bank. Before the pandemic, you could get this service for free from any bank here in the UK. I don't know whether that's still the case, but it's a case worth, giving them a ring or going onto their website to see what help you can get in regards to having any financial advice. And those are the 8 signs that you are good with money. Like I always say, visualize your higher self, show up as them, and be the change that you want to see. See you again. Bye.